Yeah, don't hit them. You don't want to hurt yourself. Guys, chili. All right, Josie, your hand is still raised.
I want to know, do we use our salt and vinegar water today?
Yes, we are going to be using the salt and vinegar water today again. So when we last left off, we had asked the question, what happened to all of the brown stuff that was coming off of our pennies, right? Because the pennies were like a dark brown color, but the brand new pennies are like a bright, bright, shiny color, and they're all made of the same stuff. So what was that stuff that was on it, and where did it go? And we said two different theories. I think it was Lily said, and many others said, well, it's in the vinegar and salt solution. It's just so small, we can't see it.
It was Josie.
Josie, maybe, I don't know. But the particles are so small, we can't see them. And we said, well, maybe if we put enough particles in there, we will be able to see it. So we dumped all the pennies into the container. Zeke had another theory. Maybe this, because salt by itself did nothing, vinegar by itself did nothing, but maybe when you put it together, it makes that chemical reaction that turns it into something brand new that does just change the pennies magically in some potion kind of way. Josie, yes, ma'am.
So I just got my penny, and it was not in my salt and vinegar water, and it's completely normal again. It's dirty.
It's dirty again?
Yes.
Interesting. What year is that penny?
1957.
Huh. All right. So let's talk about real quick. Actually, lights back on. We're going to look at our bucket. And then Miss Bab needs to tell you about a funny story that I discovered yesterday when you guys weren't here about how Mystery Bab made a mystery mistake.
Oh, did you split your eyebrows off?
No. But me and Miss Lambert had a real good laugh about it yesterday. So I'm going to see if I can show you my mistake and what happened. So hang on. Let me grab our buckets. I put them back here so you guys wouldn't see how I fudged things up a little.
What did you do? Did you put it in the wrong container?
Did I put them in the wrong container? Well, first off, I made a couple of mistakes.
What's that in the water?
The day that we first did it and you guys dipped your pennies, and then I said we're going to save the container because later I knew we were going to dump them all in there. I accidentally dumped that out. So I had to make a new salt and vinegar solution that you guys hadn't dipped your pennies in. And then I just dumped all the pennies in there at the end of the day, Friday. Okay.
And now
that is this one. Yeah. That's this one. Let me pin myself so I can see what's going on here.
Where'd they go?
Hang on.
That's a bottle. I can't see.
Okay, so first off, does this water look clean anymore?
No.
Can we definitely tell that it's a little bit dirty and there's probably definitely some particles in there, okay?
I can't tell.
All right.
On the screen.
Hang on, I'm going to get... Guys, I cannot deal with you guys talking so much. Oh, hang on. No. That might be the good one. Hang on.
You showed us.
Hang on. Let me figure out which one's which.
Josie, raise her hand.
All right. Hang on. Because something terrible happened yesterday because Miss Fab made such a goofball mistake. Okay.
Ew, what's this stuff on
All right. Now, this is the original container that I dumped all the pennies in. Okay. Do you guys see there is a ton, let me see, a ton of black little bits down in the bottom around the pennies. You guys see that? Okay, hang on. Yeah, there's some bringing it.
I know you did.
Hang on. DJ, stop. Nope, I'm not even listening yet because if you're that far ahead of us yet, nope, not listening to it yet. I was supposed to take these out. Don't look. Okay, anyway, it didn't work anyway on that one because this solution's all messed up. But like, if it's hard, no, there's no crystals. This is just whatever that stuff is that came off the pennies. So you can see that the pennies look cleaner, right? And there's a bunch of stuff, black stuff in the bottom, right? Okay. Well, Not all. Remember I told you that the pennies had to be older than 1982. Because since 1982, they made copper-plated pennies that were made out of something else, okay? A different kind of a metal. Well, when you guys went to lunch and I needed to dump all the pennies in here on Friday, I knew I had some extra ones that we didn't use in a Ziploc, and I grabbed a Ziploc that had pennies in it and I dumped them in. Those were not the old pennies. They were new pennies that were more recent. And Miss Bab wasn't paying attention. So I dumped new pennies in here with the old pennies. And so when I came in yesterday, me and Miss Lambert were both checking it out because her class is doing it too, right? And I looked and I'm like, well, there was a ton of black stuff in the bottom, but then half the pennies still looked really dirty like crud. And I'm like, it didn't work on those. And I'm like, why didn't it work? And Miss Lambert's looked like very clean, and she didn't really have a lot of dirt in hers. Like she still couldn't see her particles in hers. And I'm like, what's going on? And so we took out some of the pennies and started like rubbing them to see if we could rub them clean. And one of the pennies just disintegrated in our hands.
Whoa.
So watch this. This is one of the new pennies. I don't know if you can see that was in there. Do you see how it's like
Plastic that looks
it
like
doesn't
gold.
even look like a penny anymore? You see like there's a notch in the edge where it kind of broke apart. Guys, you ready? You ready? Oh, I thought I could break it. Yesterday I just broke one in half. Oh, look, here's a piece that's just peeling off. Just peeled off.
Black stuff at the bottom?
Is that
If
even
you look,
copper?
you can't even see his face anymore. It won't even focus, but like his face isn't even on there anymore, Lincoln's face. Right? I think if I put it back in here and got it wet, like look at it's just like coming apart on me.
Looks like chalk.
Like whole
Is
bits
that
of the
just
penny.
made of oil only?
Like it's not as thick as a penny anymore. Like it's really thin. And so these
Like bad, you're losing money.
pennies were all the new pennies that weren't ever supposed to be in there. And whatever they're made of gets completely destroyed by salt and vinegar. Hey, these Kleenexes are coming in handy again. So some of the black stuff you see down there isn't the particles that is dirty because of the brown stuff coming off. It's dirty because it's actual pieces of new penny that I was never supposed to put in there. So then I was like, oh, poo. I don't know if this is going to work for the next part of the experiment we're going to do. So I took half of the old pennies out and I made a new solution yesterday. But they're still, these pennies are even cleaner. And they're still, it's harder to see, but there are still particles in there.
Yeah, I just heard a great penny.
So I don't know if you can see the particles in that one, but they are some in there. It's just harder to see. Yeah, Josie.
Can we test my experiment for like dipping it in vinegar and then putting it in straight salt?
Yes, I don't have any other pennies right now to do it in the classroom. And we're gonna hang on. Keep reminding me of that, Josie. I'm not saying no, but I'm gonna say not right this moment because I want to move on and see what Mystery Doug has to say for our next one. Because we do know that all these pennies have gotten cleaner and shinier. So, can we transform something worthless into gold? Is this week's lesson.
Yeah,
Let me present.
Painted gold. Hey, Miss Bab. Miss Bab.
What?
You know how like there's always like pennies and like fountains. Sometimes it's like dirty, like and like fountains like
Sean.
you see like there's a fountain at Six Flags for example, and there's tons of pennies and coins in it, and it looks really dirty at the bottom.
Part of that is actual like dirt that's coming off in regular water.
But it also sits there forever. And
But that's just water. It might be a little bit acidic because, well, it rains. That's a giant fountain. I know what you're talking about at the front of Six Flags where everybody throws their pennies in. But rain happens, right? And rain gets in that fountain too. So that water might have a little bit acidity to it. It's not straight, clean water. And plus people, kids and whatever, reach in the fountain where they're not supposed to, but I'm positive they do. Because I was a kid at Six Flags once and I'm still grown up with kids that go to Six Flags. And so I know what happens. But so there's actually just dirt in the water too. I imagine they have to like put chlorine and things in there to keep it as clean as it is, and that's still not enough because think about the hundreds of people that are there every day. Okay, but for now, we're gonna go transform something worthless into gold and see what Mystery Doug has to say, and hopefully he's not gonna make any mistakes like Mystery Bab does. All right.
Miss Bab, I think you might be glitching. We can't hear you, and the thing's not going.
But today we're going to start with the activity because this activity takes some time in order for it to work. In today's activity, you're going to figure out what happened to the dull brown stuff you cleaned off the pennies in the last mystery. Remember, in the last mystery, we combined 3 things: salt, vinegar, and a bunch of dull pennies. By now, those pennies should have gotten shiny. In this mystery, you'll scoop some of that liquid into a bag, and then you'll put something in there, an object made of steel. You'll find out why later in this mystery. It's a surprise. Okay, I'll show you how to get started, step by step. If you're in a class, form a team of 4. If you're not in a class, you'll need a helper for some steps, but otherwise you can work alone. When you're done with this step, click the arrow on the right. Get these supplies. You'll get more supplies later.
You're muted.
Okay. Why do I keep losing my papers? All right, here we go. I need somebody to pass these out. You're my new favorite best friend because you're just right here and it's easy to hand you stuff. All right. We need tape. Hang on, I'm gonna get the tape.
Miss Bab,
Yeah.
want me to come down and get my supplies?
I'll bring it down.
You are not allowed. No, you're just gonna have to watch today, dude. I'm gonna turn this around and. Yes. You can give everybody a paper plate.
I had a spot at DC. Guys. We can never.
All right, I'm gonna come give everybody a piece of tape. Just leave it on your table for now, like that.
Yeah, it's the Sean system. About
All right.
What's that? Guys, are you going to take you guys take
I think it's something in the building.
What's that? I'm going to put the excess under your cup.
All right. Okay. Here we go. Everybody.
Choose a team name. Write it on the label. This shouldn't take too long. Just take about 20 seconds or so to do this. I'll start a timer if that's helpful.
Miss Bab. Also, you're muted. I don't know. Okay, Miss Bab. So I want to know, are we doing the experiment or like do we just
Okay, time's up. Go to the next step.
Josie, repeat that.
do we are we going to work as like a virtual student group?
Josie, since you still have salt and vinegar water, you can do what we're doing. You probably won't need the label stuff that they're talking about or the tape
You know,
because
I don't think I will because my dad keeps on asking whenever I can throw it away.
all right,
Mine's up.
that's fine. Because you're gonna need a nail today, a steel nail, so you might not have that handy. So you can just watch what we're doing. That's fine. Okay, so you guys should have class. At this point, you should have your team name written on one of the pieces of tape.
Now what do I do with the piece of tape?
Hang on.
Can I put it on?
All right, here we go. No, wait.
Choose a job for each member of the team. You can be the Potion Pro, the Penny Pro, the Steel Master, or the Bag Boss.
Again, just so you know, you're muted.
Did everybody decide their job? Yeah. Okay, here we go.
Get your supplies. Each person will get a different thing and bring it back to the table. Put it all on the plate if you have one. Potion Pro and Penny Pro. Go to the salt and vinegar container where the pennies have been soaking since the last mystery. Potion Pro. Scoop up half a cup of liquid. And Penny Pro. Put 5 pennies in the cup using the spoon. Now, if you're in a class, you might have to take turns with other groups. Steel Master, you'll be getting a nail. And Bag Boss, you'll be getting a Ziploc bag.
So can I just celebrate?
If you don't sit down, I'm gonna lose it. Stop. Go back to your desk. All right, guys, listen carefully. If you are Bag Boss, the bags are right there. Go grab a bag. If you are the Steel Master, you're actually going to get 2 things. You're going to get 1 nail and 1 of these little circle things called a washer. You're going to get 1 of each. All right, Steel Masters, here you go. Now,
I saw.
if you are the Potion Pro,
I saw you already put in the.
Yes,
if
Dad.
you are the Potion Pro, yes.
I want to know, Jason said that he wanted to be the Potion Pro, so are we doing it or no?
No, you guys don't have to actually do this part.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, Potion Pro. No, well,
This
if you
one-
describe yourself. Just what Potion Pro? What you're going to do is you're going to take your cup and dip some of the water,
That.
and that's it. Yeah,
Yeah.
and then take it back to your table.
You're gonna have to be so mean about it. There's like green stuff.
All right, who else is a Potion Pro?
I'm also a Penny Pro.
All right, you're a Potion Pro.
And a Penny Pro.
Okay. Potion Pro, stay nearby because the Penny Pro needs you.
I'm Potion Pro and Penny Pro. It actually tastes really good. Dude,
Hang on.
he didn't actually bring it because I'll just help you with the pennies. Huh? I'll just help you with the pennies. Okay.
All right, Penny Pro. Potion Pro, stand with your Penny Pro.
Potion Pro.
Penny Pro, you're gonna get like 5 pennies.
Is there enough pennies? I don't have a cup.
Yeah. You're gonna hang on. Potion. Where's your Potion Pro?
I'm.
Well, you gotta fill it with solution.
I'm right here and I don't have anything.
All right, Penny Pro, come scoop 5 pennies for your Potion Pro.
I'm waiting.
All right, here is another Penny Pro bucket. 5 pennies for your Potion Pro.
Okay.
You really have to
Riley,
like
four,
scoop them up, though.
one more.
What do you think?
Oh,
I need
five,
a
right?
penny pro. I don't have
You can do one at a time.
I scooped up the one.
I don't have a spoon.
Okay, you can do this.
You're gonna use. We're all using the same spoon. It's okay.
Okay.
I'll take a baby.
I can't get it.
Car baby.
Dump it. Scoop it. Nice. Well, it's two already in there. Okay.
He'll dump some in while we have it.
Three. Come on, Penny. Get in the bag.
Now,
Four.
are you Penny Pro too?
Yeah.
All right, you're all of it. All right,
And-
5 pennies.
No. Get in.
How many do you have?
Five.
All right.
They stuck together.
Yeah.
These pennies look so gross.
Can I break one?
No.
It smells like nail polish and pickles.
Guys, there's another bucket over here.
Come on, slow post. Come on, Igor.
Okay.
He's the Igor, and I'm the witch. That's 2.
I thought you picked out all of them.
We need one more.
I had a bag because Mr. Rothweiler and we had brought some extras to sort. I didn't have time to sort them at home, so I just grabbed a whole bunch of pennies from home and I brought them to sort for Miss Fish's class since she's not here. And so that was the bag of extras that we
need
didn't use in
more.
Miss Fish's class. And I thought it was the
Can we do
leftover
6?
old ones, but it was the new ones.
No, we need
and-
one more.
Can we
Yeah,
do
like-
6?
They look so weird.
Right? Like, look at
stuck
no. And like, these are not even like
City.
sealed.
No, they're really just
Why?
one in.
Like, it's so brittle.
Adios, let's go.
Right?
You can't even see any of the engravements.
I know.
Break it.
Yes, you may. Okay.
I can't clap while I'm still myself.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Does everybody have all of their things? Potion Pro, Penny Pro, Steel Master, and Bag Boss.
Yep.
Everybody's good. Okay. You guys, I think everybody got a plate. You really only needed 1 plate per group.
Where's the plate?
Okay. All right, here we go. It's okay. Here we go.
Watch this whole step before you do anything. Bag Boss. Add the label near the top of the bag like this. Then, hold the bag open over the plate if you have one. Steel Master.
You're muted.
I'm just giving them instructions. All right, Bag Bosses, do your job. Put your label on your bag. And then hold it open over the plate. Then hold it open over the plate. All right, I see a bunch of people goofing off with the tape. Bag Boss, you're not done. Hold the bag open over the plate. Kendall's got it. Maggie's got it. All right. Steel Master.
Carefully put the nail at the bottom. Don't drop it in. That could rip the bag. Just place it gently.
I understand. And nails are wet.
All right, Steel Master, put your nail in the bottom of the bag.
Yeah, do you want to put our ring, our washer under it?
All right, whoa. Yeah, your washer too. Your nail and your washer. Put both of those in the bottom of the bag. Your nail and your washer. Put both of those at the bottom of the bag. Potion Pro. Potion Pro. You're going to pour all the stuff, pennies and liquid, into the bag. This is why the plate is there, to catch any spills. Potion Pro, pour the liquid and the pennies in. And then Penny Pro, you will seal the bag. All right. Penny Pro seals the bag.
Can't the bag
Hey.
Yeah, I didn't.
You may throw away your Dixie cup. And you might want to Windex good Lord, Germex your hands if you smell like vinegar now.
I love smelling like vinegar. That's a definition.
There's enough stuff up here that Miss Bab's going to go ahead. Do one. Where'd my tape go? Bab Boss. This way. Virtual friends, we can see it up close and personal. Where's my Ziploc?
Was that bag? What's your name? Oh, I got. Oh, that always in my.
Nice to meet you. What is our group name gonna be? Let's see.
Ours is Fizz.
Is what?
Fizz.
Spiz?
Yeah, 'cause that's all.
All right, I've got. Let's see here. Who do I have? I have Cam,
Yeah.
Josie,
Yeah, because so Sam is S. He is
Cam,
Parker.
Josie,
Sean
Jason, and Lucas.
Sean is
There's no
I.
vowels.
Idiot. Yeah, I'm I for idiot. Yeah,
Cam,
Fizz and I'm
Josie,
Z.
Jason.
I'm
and
for
Lucas.
idiot. Did you hear what our things are? So Sam is S, Parker's P, Sean is I for
You should
idiot,
put A for your name.
A.
Joja Luca. All right. I've got the first two initials of everybody's name. And so you guys are now Joja Luca. Josie, Jason, Lucas, Cam, Joja Luca. All right, we got it. Team Joja Luca. Here we go. We're going to get some of the salt and vinegar water.
Hey, Miss Betty, forgot about Grace.
And, oh, Grace, how did I forget you? What? I am the rudest person ever. Grace, I'm sorry. We're going to put a GR on the end. Joja Luca. There we go. I fixed it. Joja Luca. That's even more fun to say. I'm glad. All right, I've got my, oh, wait, where's my pennies? Here's one. I'm making a mess.
It should be
2, 3, 4, 5. All right, here we go. Oh, wait, I didn't put my nail in my washer, and I'm not even following my own directions. All right, we got a nail and a washer.
You're gonna poke a hole in it, Miss Bab.
Oh my gosh, I
Where's
did
your
place it
plate, Miss
gently.
Bab? That's what Mr. Doug said not to do.
All right, now I'm being the penny pro, sealing it up.
No bag.
Penny pro sealed it. All right, here we go. All right, guys. Listen carefully. We got to keep moving. Here we go. That's not appropriate. When I say let's go, why would you holler like a wolf? No.
All right, quickly write down the time in question 3A on your worksheet so you know when you started the experiment. Then go to the next step. Remember, you already did questions 1 and 2 during the last mystery. Bag boss. Make sure the bag is sealed. Then, pass the bag around so that each person in your group can look at it. Put it back on the plate when everyone's done looking. Then, everyone do questions 3A, 3B, 3C, and 3D on your worksheet.
You're muted.
Virtual friends, I'm pinning myself so you can see the bag up close. So I've got 5 pennies in there. There's a nail and the washer's in here. And there's clear salty vinegar water. So,
Miss Bab, do we have to put
so you should have this.
to draw it?
Do your best. Whatever it's asking you.
hold on.
Wait.
Can you hold it up to the camera? I'll pin you and then take a picture of that.
But you
Yeah.
have to write our name on the. What we're gonna do is like. Clean with bubbles.
No. I know it's hard to see.
Oh yeah, it is.
All right.
You got 6 pennies.
Okay, thanks.
All right. Why do you think question 3D? You guys said that there were little particles in here before, most of you did. And it says, think about what might happen in this experiment. Write your ideas. What on earth? We put a nail and a washer in there. Why? What do you think is going to happen? You think they're going to disintegrate like the pennies I messed up?
I know what
Maybe.
it does.
Okay.
I watch re-absorption videos.
All right. Write your ideas. Whatever you think it does, write it on 3D. And then we're going to move on. Okay.
Is this Zosimos hypothesis?
Is this Zosimos? I don't know. What did Zosimos say? I don't remember
It
which
said
one
it
was
would
which.
disappear.
He said it disappears.
Well, something disappeared.
Water washes over the stone, making it disappear. It doesn't exist anymore.
Zosimo's is wrong.
Zosimo's is wrong. How do you know?
Proper. Zosimo's is wrong because it's proper.
All right. Okay, we're moving on, guys. Moving on.
Discuss.
Discuss.
If you're in a class,
If you're in a class,
discuss this question
discuss
as
this
a
question
class.
as a class.
All right. DJ says he knows what's going on, but before he, I'm gonna come have him whisper it to you.
Before he says anything about zombie apocalypse. What are you talking about?
Whisper. I don't want to.
Ah, that's pretty Why would you do that? Look at him.
I got anything's gonna happen. Anybody want to volunteer? Jason, what's gonna happen?
Maybe the nail will pick up the dirt.
You think so? What will that look like then? The nail will just start looking dirty?
The nail will stick to the metal.
Maybe, or it'll help make the particles be showable.
Okay, so that we can actually see the particles better. All right.
I think that.
What do you think?
I think. Well, I don't know what kind. Wait, can I see those? Okay, they're not. I don't know what kind of metal they're made out of,
Well,
but
these are the new ones. These are all old pennies in our bags.
they might be made out of like steel or nickel. Those ones, but I don't know. It might be the same thing as the washer and the nail, and it might disintegrate like that.
Okay. So Zeke says he thinks the washer and the nail might disintegrate like my newer pennies did.
Did DJ get it right?
Oh, I know what it's gonna do.
Josie, what do you think?
Disintegrate.
So
I'm not really.
I remember earlier, I put a really dirty dime in there, and I don't really know what that's made of, but maybe it's sort of the same because it didn't do anything. I put it in the salt and vinegar water, and it didn't do anything. So maybe the nail won't do anything at all.
All right, maybe.
Wait, what are the?
Lucas, what are your thoughts on this? What's it gonna do?
I was gonna ask a question about something else.
Oh, okay. What's your question?
I wonder what would happen if this was in the salt and vinegar, the dollar.
What coin is that?
That's the dollar
Silver dollar.
one.
The silver dollar one? I don't know.
Do that. If that thing breaks. It's
Zeke doesn't advise it. I don't know exactly what would happen. I'm not sure how each different metal responds. I would feel bad if it destroyed your silver dollar, though.
That'd be
So-
awesome.
All right, guys, let's hit next and see what happens. Guys,
Bag boss, hang your bag from the edge of your table with masking tape or your extra label like this. Make sure that the nail and the pennies are in the liquid. When you're done, advance the slide to watch the next video.
Miss Beth, you're muted, or yeah.
okay, go for it. What might happen?
I'm thinking that maybe the screw in the washer might, I don't know, like pick up the copper.
It'll turn into gold.
I don't know. I just think that.
Oh,
You
maybe
think
it'll
it
be
might
like a
pick up the
magnet?
copper stuffs that came off of the pennies? Interesting. Interesting. Very similar thoughts to what DJ said, but I'm not sure what's going to happen. Let's hit next and find out. Here we go.
Last time, we saw the salt and vinegar change a dulled copper penny to a shiny one, but we never figured out how it happened. We ruled out the possibility that the liquid added a layer of shiny copper to the coin, but that left these other two possibilities. One, that the liquid removed the dull layer, revealing shiny copper underneath. Or two, that nothing was added or removed, but instead the liquid changed the dull copper to shiny copper in place. In the last mystery, you thought up some ideas to figure out which of these two ideas could be true. Now take a moment to reflect on what your ideas were. Discuss them again so that you remember. What could you do to figure out which of these two ideas is true?
Jason, what do you think?
It has to be that the particles were removed, because if nothing was added or removed, then it would have to look the same. 'Cause when you're cleaning a dish, you're removing the dirt and the gross food.
Yeah, but dirt. It weird enough.
Okay, but it's not dirt that's on the pennies. It's what made it just change color because of oxidation. Remember from last week's video? Remember how it talked about like apples and fruits and things change colors? There's still an apple. If you eat it, it's still an apple.
Why do we need a plate?
Or a banana, but it changed color because of the air hitting it. Now, so the air hitting these pennies makes them be darker colored. So it's not dirt, because dirt would wash off with soap and water. And we put it in the soapy water and nothing happened. Salt and vinegar did either take it off like it says, or it just created some sort of chemical reaction that just reversed the oxidation process and just changed the penny.
I'm gonna try cleaning
So,
the pennies with the vinegar
now,
and baking soda.
What I can tell you is most of the junk that's in this one bowl is where the pennies like broke apart and disintegrated. Guys, let me pin myself so everybody can see this.
I got the hold up.
Guys, this is a penny. This was a penny. This little piece here was a penny. And it's like crumbling.
Can I see a piece?
apart.
Can I see that one? I'm gonna try something.
It literally just crumbled. So go, shoo.
Okay.
So most of these particles that we see, these big particles in here, are from the pennies that literally fell apart that were never supposed to be in there. That is my fault. Not everyone is perfect, and I am human just like you guys, and I make mistakes. And this is why scientists have to repeat experiments.
Miss Bab, you're glitching.
After I realized my mistake yesterday. It's whatever's happening. Things that were never supposed to be there. So, knowing that, we still can't really see the particles.
Miss Bab,
So,
you're glitching a lot.
guys,
Miss Bab. I just noticed something. Miss Bab.
okay.
Miss Bab.
Now, I'm doing the best I can, but we're going to have to keep moving. All right. Zeke, yes.
So in this bowl, like there's no particles in it. You can still see the salt around the edges, but you can't see the salt as much in this one.
True. One of them has more salt than the other. Not really sure why that is. Okay. Here we go.
Was it
You're muted.
All right, wait. Let me talk. Zip. We're going to pretend that these disintegrated pennies never happened, okay? These guys never happened. So we're pretending that this bowl that looks pretty clean still is the liquid I had the whole time.
I like the.
Okay, now, keeping that in mind, it wants to know if we had a scale that could measure the weight very precisely. Is there a test we could do to figure out if it just changed in place or if particles were removed?
Yes.
What could we do? DJ, what could we do?
You could put it in there for like 30 seconds or something, and you could see that, oh, it has a line, and then you put it on the scale before, or you could dip it, the whole thing in, and you can put it on the scale before and after and write down the numbers that.
Okay, so weigh the solution before the pennies and after the pennies.
Oh, I see how this.
How would that work?
Or you can make it pennies.
If I weighed the solution before I put the pennies in, and I found out how much it weighed, and then I were to weigh the solution after the pennies were in there,
It would get heavier, and that's how
it would get, what would getting heavier prove?
that the stuff came off.
That those missing particles are in there, okay?
Miss Crab,
So what do you guys think? Is that one good way to test it? Somebody is raising their hand over and over again. Hang on, I can't see. Josie, what do you think?
Maybe, wait, why would it differ? Why would the weight differ? Because it's on the penny already. So it might make the penny heavier. If it comes off, then it'll just be the same weight because it's the same stuff.
Let's try and type this. But guys, stop. Sean, enough. I'm still teaching. You guys sit down, because part of the problem is Sean can't see me, so he thinks I'm not paying attention. So he thinks he can just talk to the class now, and he cannot. Zeke, sit down too. Find a chair. Okay. Virtual friends, you're glitching. I don't know if you can hear me or not. But if we weigh the solution before we ever put the dirty pennies in,
Josie's moving now.
and then we weigh the pennies after.
We can hear you.
So you can, okay, good. After the pennies soaked and after we took them out, okay? So all I have left is the solution. If something was removed from the pennies, it would still be in the water, right? So the water should weigh more, because whatever that was that came off the pennies should be in there, right?
Or Miss
So
Bab.
it should weigh a little bit more.
Miss Bab.
Yeah, Jason.
Or we could weigh the pennies before they go in there, and then
Jason's glitching.
Ooh. With the typos, right? Don't care.
I do hear you. So I wonder if like I have a thing to test if the salt and vinegar made another chemical, because if let's try and put the pennies in the new pennies in just salt water or just vinegar and see if they do anything. But if we put salt and vinegar together, it means it makes a new chemical that can disintegrate it.
Okay. All right. Sam.
Wouldn't it automatically get heavier with pennies in it?
We're weighing the solution after we just took the pennies out again. Yes. Yes, it would definitely be heavier when the pennies were actually in the solution because you're weighing the pennies and the solution. But you could either weigh the pennies before if something. But I've done it before.
Miss Bab, you're glitching again.
So did you think of any ideas for how a scale might help figure out what's going on? Here's an idea we had. If the vinegar and salt made the penny shiny by removing a dull layer, then you should be able to weigh a penny before being dipped in vinegar and salt and after, and find out that it has lost weight. Well, we tried this out. I'll show you what happened. Here are some dull pennies that we put on a scale with tweezers. Now let's see how much they weigh. Okay, you can see here, they weigh 18.615 grams. Now, let's put them in salt and vinegar until they become shiny, and then we'll weigh them again. $6.15 grams. Let's see how now that they're shiny. And we can see here.
Miss Bab, it's glitching.
Right, Matt. Green dust.
Something is very wrong
Ha!
with this
They
internet.
do weigh less.
Miss Bab, I don't even know what's
Really
going
worked
on.
by removing something from the penny. It would seem like the evidence is pretty convincing for this idea, that the reason the salt and vinegar worked is that they removed a dull layer of copper that was surrounding the outer part of the penny, and that revealed shiny copper underneath. The penny didn't just change. We might even say that we've now solved the mystery from the last activity. But let's be good scientists here. Let's see if there's any more evidence we can find. It's time to go check your bags. You might even find that you have a new mystery on your hands.
Miss Bab, you're muted. Or maybe you're not. I don't know.
We're just gonna have to work through it the best we can, guys, because I can't fix the glitchy today. All right, let's check out my bag and see what it looks like, if anything has happened.
Miss Bab, have we done question 4A?
No, we have not. Now, it takes a long time, but in my bag, the nail looks the same. The washer looks the same. Now, hang on a second though, guys. Does anybody's nail and washer look different?
Yes. No, you're not gonna be the better house. We also decided, Kate said that was copper on it instead.
You guys want to see what happened to the washer and the nail that I put in there overnight, so it had a lot longer to be in there?
Miss Bab, you're glitching. Did anything happen to anyone else's?
How many times can I tell her I can't fix that? Josie, honey, I can't fix the glitchy. I don't know. Here's what happened. I'm about to meet her. All right. Kendall, are you done? Can you sit up and pay attention and quit singing the Jeopardy song? Thank you. I don't need anyone to sing the Jeopardy song right now.
Yeah, that song's annoying.
All right, guys, hang on. I'm going to pin myself so you can see. So, because I knew it was going to take longer than the 20 minutes that Mystery Doug told us, yesterday, after I fixed this solution and I had all the pennies in there, I put a washer and nail in mine. Here's what my washer looks like this morning.
It's covered. It's covered.
Here's what my nail looks like now. Hang on, let me turn it. It's hard to tell with the light.
No,
But yeah, from this angle, I don't know if you can see, it's not the silver color anymore.
it's covered. Is bronze made out of copper or
Miss Bab, can you present?
Present
She's
what?
presenting.
I am presenting. I'm pinned.
Pin her to your screen, Jason.
Yeah. So, Jason, it's easier to see it on the washer, so I'll hold that up again. But you should be able to see that the washer has now, it's not silver anymore. It's kind of got some of that penny color to it. The nail you can see if you're here in person, but it's harder to tell on the camera, but it also has a tiny coating of the copper to it. All right, you're going to leave yours sitting, and let's see what Doug has to say.
I read it.
If you notice something happening in the bag, draw a picture on the back of your worksheet and write down the time.
Miss Bab, you're muted.
I was just saying Jason's group, or not Jason, Grayson's group noticed that the very tip of their nail was starting to get a little bit of a copper color to it. When I walked around, I didn't see that anybody else's stuff has changed yet. So write down what you see. If you haven't seen any changes, you can just put it's 11:32 and there's no changes. Here we go.
Bag boss. Hang your bag from the edge of your table again with the same masking tape like this. Then, advance the slide to watch the next video. Remember when I told you about the alchemists? The alchemists were convinced that it should be possible to create a potion that transforms ordinary metal into gold. If you could figure out how to make a potion like that, you would become incredibly rich. Last time, you saw that there definitely are substances that can transform things. Salt and vinegar transformed a dull penny into a shiny, new-looking one. How is that possible? And is this actually a step closer towards a potion that can transform ordinary metal into gold? Well, let me tell you a story, a legend. The legend goes that an alchemist went to a king to make him an offer. He told the king, "I cannot yet turn ordinary metal into gold, but I have discovered a way to transform ordinary steel into copper, which is more valuable than steel. If you give me your steel sword, I can show you." The king was intrigued, and he handed over his sword. the alchemist pulled out some kind of clear liquid. He called it a magic potion. The alchemist soaked the sword in the liquid and left it there overnight. In the morning, it looked like this. It looked like the steel sword had become copper. The king exclaimed, "I'm so impressed. I insist. Tell me, how did you make this liquid? Is it magic? What is it?" But the alchemist wouldn't tell. "I cannot reveal my secrets," he said, "but you can see that I'm a great wizard. I transformed steel into copper. I'm confident that I can figure out a way to transform steel into gold next, if only you give me some money for my research." The king agreed, and he handed the alchemist a bag of money. The alchemist thanked the king and left, promising to come back after he did more experiments. But the alchemist never returned. He was never heard from again. Why do you think the alchemist left, never to be heard from again? Was there something he didn't want the king to figure out?
He's a failure. He gave
What's
up.
the secret? He didn't want the king to figure out the
He's a
secret. That's
failure
it.
and no one,
What, Sean?
he gave up. He's a failure and no one wants to ever talk to him again.
No. He turned it to gold. What's the problem? Grace, why did he disappear?
I think because he just wanted the money, so he took it and like tricked the king.
All right, how did he trick him?
He probably just put some kind of food. He could have just put food coloring into that water.
Of course,
food coloring
Jason
in the
thinks
water?
of food coloring.
Can you food color a
Maybe
steel
he's-
sword? Jason, you're the king of food coloring, but can you food color a steel sword?
I don't know if you can food color anything. I just like food coloring.
Miss Dad.
Fabric and skin is about the only thing I know of, like anything that would absorb, but steel isn't going to absorb food coloring like that. DJ, Grace is right. He took the money and ran.
In water.
He tricked him. How did he trick?
Because
Maybe he switched out the swords into like a different one.
Switch the sword to a different one that was gold? Maybe.
Oh, I didn't know there
DJ,
was copper.
DJ, what are your thoughts?
I know what it is. It's what we're doing right now. We're turning it into copper. He probably knew that he probably was just trying to turn it into gold, but he never did, so he never returned.
He's greedy.
He's making the king think he turned it to gold. Is that steel sword actually made of gold now?
I mean copper.
Copper. Is it?
It's,
He told the king it was made of gold.
no, we didn't. We didn't.
So copper?
We said it was copper.
All right,
He
fine.
said it was copper.
Is it made of copper?
It's copper plated.
No, it's
Copper
made of steel with food coloring.
DJ, Jason, enough with the food coloring. Not food coloring.
They didn't have food coloring.
I don't even know if they had food coloring then.
They had
Not
dye.
like we do. They use like actual fruits and vegetables as
They had
dye and
dye.
berries and stuff. All right, but that's not what we're doing here. DJ, you're right. What we're doing right now is a very small version of what the alchemist did then. He copper plated something, which means there's a coating of copper on the outside of it, but it's still the steel sword underneath. And he needed to get the heck out of there before the king realized that it wasn't solid copper, that it was only
That kid's stupid.
just copper on the very outside
That's
edge.
science.
All right, here we go. We're going to stop here for today. I wanted to get
ma'am.
further. Not, hang on. We're stopping here because we've got to go to recess. So for today, we're going to stop. We will pick up where we're leaving off